Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome here to the launch pad and our live launch coverage of SpaceX Starlink 6-110 set to launch from Slick 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station here in Florida. If it's your first time here, though, welcome. My name is Zach. I'm the founder and host here at the Launchpad Network, and here at TOP, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow because we believe that space is better together, and we're glad to have you joining us live here today. Now on your screen, not a look at Slick 40, but a look at Launch Complex 39B at NASA Kennedy Space Center, just a few miles up from where Falcon 9 will be launching here today. You're looking at a live view of the Space Launch System out on the pad as we are now just counting down to the rollback of it to the VAB. I and some of the Rocket Chaser team will be on site tomorrow, bringing you full live coverage of the rollback. First movement expected 9 a.m. Eastern. Over the last half an hour, we've been watching as the crawler has worked its way back up the hill and is now working its way under the mobile launch platform in preparation for lifting the launch platform with the rocket up and beginning that multi-hour 4-mile trek back to the vehicle assembly building. So we'll be keeping an eye on the Space Launch System while we count down to launch here for Falcon 9 tonight. Of course, once SpaceX goes live, we will, of course, patch them in and bring you full live view of the launch pad there, where Falcon 9 has just, if everything is going to schedule, should have just been given the go, no-go for propellant loading. Now, as always, as we get started, take a moment, let us know in the chat where you're watching from, and while you do so, take a moment, hit that like button, share the stream, invite people to join us. All those things really do help us out, and we appreciate you being here. And with those questions, I'll be working on answering those through the countdown, as well as the coast phase that we'll be happening during the first stage on its journey back down to Earth. Taking a look at the weather conditions down here on the Space Coast, everything looking pretty good for launch here today. 97% go for launch for today's mission. We got lots of people just jumping in the chat, watching from all over the world. We're glad to have you all joining us live here. We got Chaz watching from Birmingham, UK. Great to have you here. We got Quentin in South Oregon. Welcome. Some saying buffering. Are we having some buffering, guys? Let me know in the chat there. We shouldn't be, but let me know if we're having a little bit of an issue there or not. I'll try to clean things up on my end here, but everything looks like it's working on my end. Apologies if we are experiencing a little bit buffering there. We are on our remote system out in the field, not the main studio system, so bear with me. Not on our fiber internet that we're used to. Definitely miss having that fiber access. There we go. We got that buffering hopefully under control for you guys. Lots of people just jumping on. We got Michael watching from Doncaster in the UK. Welcome. Daniel watching in Australia. Ralph is in Norway. We got Jose in Puerto Rico. Welcome. We are coming to you live not only on YouTube, but on Facebook and X as well. So watching on all of your favorite social media platforms. Make sure you take a moment, share out the stream, invite people to join us. We got Lynette watching from Coeur d'Alene in Idaho. Welcome. Been there many times. Glad to have you here. Toast and Loaf watching from Southern Canada, aka Alabama. Those are two very different places, but great to have you joining us here today. We are counting down to the launch, as I said, of SpaceX Starlink 6-110, set to launch in just under 32 minutes from now. We had a launch window that opened at 3:56 p.m. Eastern Time, closed at 7:56 p.m. Eastern. So we are targeting just past the middle of today's launch window for liftoff. And now that we are into propellant loading, we are locked into today's attempt. Now today's Falcon 9 booster is booster 1092. It's going for its 10th flight on a 72-day turnaround. It last flew on Starlink 6-82 on December 15th of 2025 from the same pad here at Cape Canaveral. It first flew last year on February 26th of 2025 for Starlink 12-13. It has previously supported NROL 69, CRS 32, GPS 3-7, USSF 36, and 5 previous Starlink missions. On board today's mission, we have 29 Starlink V2 minis heading up to low Earth orbit. Lots of people just jumping on. Great to have you all here. We got Melody in Chicago, Illinois. Mandy watching from Central Florida. We got David in Northern Ireland. Windbreaker is in South Arkansas. Helen is in the UK. See Ecuador. Devon, England with Birch. Palm Coast, Florida for Robert. Great to have you all joining us here this afternoon, this morning, this evening, depending where you're watching us from. We are counting down now, just 30 minutes and counting till liftoff. About 5 minutes ago, the RP-1, or rocket-grade kerosene, should have begun loading onto both the first and second stage. Liquid oxygen should have also begun loading onto the first stage. Be another about 14 minutes till we begin loading liquid oxygen on the second stage as we continue through today's countdown. Now again, we aren't looking at the rocket just yet. We're taking a live look of the Space Launch System as we start to head towards sunset here on the Space Coast. The crawler has just arrived back at Launch Complex 39B and is slowly working its way under the mobile launch platform in preparation for rollback tomorrow. We will, of course, be bringing you full live coverage of that rollback here on TLP. So we hope that you will join us live for that. We are expecting first movement right around 9 a.m. Eastern. NASA teams are continuing to monitor weather conditions and the wind, though. Rollback was supposed to be today, but it was delayed due to wind and cool temperatures. And I have to tell you, though the sun was warm today, if you were in the direct line of the sun, if you were in the shade, it was crisp. And if you had the wind, ooh, she was chilly. And I'm a Canadian. And when I say it's cold in Florida, you know it's cold. Melody, so is this the Artemis we're seeing now? Which rocket will launch today? We'll be launching Falcon 9, a SpaceX Falcon 9 from Slick 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. About, I have to do the math actually, probably about 4 or 5 miles downrange, down south of where this camera is with this pad of Launch Complex 39B. But we figured it'd be better to look at some activity where we're watching the crawler than looking at just the weather radar. That can get a little boring, a little old. So we wanted to make sure that we were bringing that to you. We will take a very quick look at the weather, though. You can see there green across the board for wind and temperatures, severe weather and lightning. It's actually been a while since we've seen that much green all across the board. It's a really great sign of why we are 97% go for launch here this afternoon. now just under 28 minutes and counting till launch. If you guys have questions, you can send those in the chat by tagging me at the launch pad, and I'll work on answering those live while we continue to count down. But stay with us right here. You're watching a live launch coverage of SpaceX Starlink 6-110 heading up to low Earth orbit. Stay with us right here on TLP. And if you're just joining us, welcome here to the Launchpad and our live launch coverage of SpaceX Starlink 6-110, set to launch from Slick 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station here in Florida in just less than 10 minutes time. Right now, liquid oxygen loading onto both the first and second stage. RP1 rocket grade kerosene loading onto the first and second stage as well. In just about 2.5 minutes from now is when engine chill will begin. That's when those 9 Merlin 1D engines on the first stage will be pre-chilled in preparation for the launch sequence. If it's your first time here, though, welcome. My name is Zach. I'm the founder and host here at the Launchpad Network, and here at TLP, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow, because we believe that space is better together. We're glad to have you joining us live here tonight. If you haven't yet, take a moment, share out the stream, invite people to join us, and hit that like button. It's free to do so. On your screen, a live look at Historic Launch Complex 39B at NASA Kennedy Space Center, about 3-4 miles north of Slick 40, where Falcon 9 is currently going through propellant loading. We'll have a camera onto that pad here in just a couple of minutes when SpaceX goes live. But over the last about hour and a half, we've been watching as the crawler worked its way up that ramp and now under the mobile launcher in preparation for the Artemis II Space Launch System rollback to the VAB. First motion expected at 9 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. We'll have full coverage through the night and all day tomorrow, covering its journey back to the vehicle assembly building. I'll be on site with our rocket chasers, Gavin and Cameron, as well, so make sure you're staying tuned to our social media and our Discord to hopefully see some things there. Dacre, thank you so much for sending in that super chat. I really appreciate supporting at that level. Hi, Zach. Show my appreciation. But I also have a question. Why do you not stream Firefly and Chinese satellite launches? It's a really great question, and it is something that we are working on. Chinese launches is because they are nearly impossible to cover, a lot of them. China doesn't allow media in the way many other nations do. So it is something we're trying to work on over the years to get better coverage of those. But anything that's like a Chinese government mission, it's near impossible to cover. If it's a air quote commercial mission for China, then sometimes we are able to do that. So we are working to improve on that. Firefly, we do have a Firefly launch coming up in a few days' time from Vandenberg. And if the time currently holds, we are planning to have coverage of that. The biggest thing is Firefly is broadcasted by another space YouTube channel who generally do not allow you to rebroadcast their broadcasts. So we are not able to do that. But if we can have our own camera out there, we will do our best to do so, but we're not going to be able to have like pad shots and stuff. So it's one of the reasons why we have chosen not to broadcast those missions in the past. But if you want that to change, contact those launch providers. Tell them that you want public broadcasts, not private broadcasts. and we'll do our best. But we do try to cover as many launches, if not almost every launch, from around the world, and we're working on improving that over the next year as well. But thanks so much for sending in that super chat. 6 minutes, 33 seconds, and counting till launch. We are just waiting for SpaceX to begin their live broadcast, and then we'll, of course, patch them in and take a look at listen into what they're doing on the countdown. Again, taking a look at the weather board coming in from Cape Canaveral and KSC. Green across the board, lightning, wind, temperature, severe weather, all nice and green. I'm looking outside right now, and I do not see a single cloud in the sky towards the path the Falcon 9 will be flying, so it is a beautiful, clear day down here on the Florida Space Coast. We are now into engine chill of Falcon 9. We should have a live view from SpaceX here in just a moment. And while we switch over to, of course, bringing you the full coverage of the launch that you are expecting to be watching here, today we'll take one last look at Launch Complex 39B. You can have a live look of the pad on our Artemis 24/7 broadcast. That'll be up and running for probably about one more day until SLS hides away back in the vehicle assembly building. Once it does that, that broadcast will conclude until we get ready for the rollout, hopefully in just a week or two, but we'll have to wait and see. We need a briefing from NASA. Teams need to evaluate the issues and go from there. So we'll have to wait and see how soon we can have that launch. But there now on your screen, a live look at Slick 40, Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. A beautiful view there of the pad where Falcon 9 is basically fully fueled up, ready to go for today's flight. 4 minutes, 36 seconds, and counting till launch. And you heard there the call out, strong back retract. That is that truss structure beside the vehicle. The clamp will now open up, allowing more space between it and the vehicle in preparation for flight here. Difference between Vandenberg and Florida: the truss structures in Florida retract away a little bit, and they retract a much larger distance away during the liftoff sequence. At Vandenberg, they retract just a little bit away, and that's where they stay because the pad at Vandenberg is a lot older. We are listening in to the callouts coming in from Falcon 9 mission controls. We count down the last 3 minutes, 42 seconds till launch.
S1 lock float is complete. Stage 2 lock float is complete.
Launch closeouts.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
Go for launch. Thirty seconds. $15 seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Engines full power. And liftoff. Go SpaceX, go Falcon, go Starlink.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Falcon is supersonic. Max Q.
MVAC chill. Main engine cutoff.
Stage separation confirmed.
MVAC startup.
Fairing separation confirmed.
Both vehicles are on a nominal trajectory. Both vehicles continue to follow a nominal trajectory.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
Stage 1 FTS is safed.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
Stage 2 FTS is safed.
Stage 1 transonic. Stage 1 landing burn.
Stage 2 is in terminal guidance.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy. Stage 1 landing confirmed.